What's going on, everybody? It is Tuesday. That means it is Show Me the Money Club live on Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, joined with Sergio and myself. We got a great show for you coming up today. Let's get right into the rundown because we do have a couple of guests coming on. And as you can see, the first thing is our special guests are the CEO and founders of GigU. We got Luiz and Pedro coming on in just a couple of moments. After that, we got Lyft introducing Preferred Driver for riders. Then also, we're going to be talking about a decade-old patent dispute to take down Uber. We're also going to be talking about, is rideshare driving safe? We're also going to be talking about Gemini and AI. For those who don't know, it's Google's AI response on financial, physical, and mental toll of rideshare for drivers. We're going to be talking about Uber and Lyft Enshittification on shaving. We're going to be talking about Advantage Standard coming to California. And a couple of changes there. One big change when it comes to that, actually. Then also we're going to be talking about Tesla Robotaxi to launch in Austin. And then we're going to go with our super chat shout outs and comments. And depending on the time, if we still have some, we're going to be talking about our Driver's Corner segment, with that being the topic of talking about how you deal with drunk riders. So because we have our guests on, if the show runs a little too long, we'll have to cut that. Hopefully go next week. But either way, we will make sure that you will be able to do that. Also, we have Behind the Wheel, our series that is usually on Thursdays. Sergio is the interviewee, and he looks for different drivers out there. Everybody's got a story, and he kind of digs into your story, your success, your failures, what you do to change, whatever it might be when it comes to rideshare. So if you have a story and you want to share it, make sure you get hold of Sergio at therideshareguide.com. And with that being said, we have a couple of special guests coming on today. GigU is an app that just came out just in the US a couple of weeks ago. And I know quite a few people have already downloaded it, but we have the founders and CEOs of on right now, which is Pedro and Luiz. So Pedro, Luiz, thank you for coming on. How you guys doing?
Great. Thank you for the invitation. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you, Chris. Nice to see you again, Sergio.
Guys, how are you guys doing? So they're in Brazil at the moment. And let's get right into it, guys, because since you're in Brazil and, well, now it's called GigU, but how did you guys start all this? How did it happen? It started in Brazil. You're in Brazil. What's the market like there? And I know Brazil actually Rio is in the top 5 Uber cities, actually. And so tell us a little bit about the past, and then we're going to talk about the present, and then we're going to talk about the future. So floor is yours. Okay.
Thanks again for being here. Good opportunity for you guys to send a happy birthday to Pedro, because it's his birthday today.
Happy birthday, Pedro.
I wouldn't let that go, Pedro. Sorry. So we started in 2017. Pedro and I were friends since we're from high school. And one day we were like, just finished the previous startups that we created here. And one day Pedro approached me and said, have you ever thought about how hard the life of an Uber driver is? And I was like amazed by that question, because it made me feel so bad, because I started thinking about it. Yeah, I don't know much about how their life is. What do you suggest? I said, I think we need to do some research on this. And then we created a survey. We hopped into more than 100 rides here in Rio, talking to drivers. And this actually shown how little we knew about their reality. And then at the end, we always said, give me your number. We don't know what we're going to build for you guys, but give me your contact number, and you're going to be the first one to know what we decided to build. And at that time, what we came up, the idea, the solution that we created, was to rent underused parking lots and build a one-stop shop where drivers could stop and solve all their needs, but especially a place of gathering, a place of community where they could exchange experience. Hence the name Stop Club. And we scaled that in 2018, 2019. We're finishing 2019 with 12 locations in Rio. We were opening the first 2 locations in São Paulo when the pandemic hit, and we had to close it out. But I say this without fear of being mistaken, but I doubt there's anyone at Uber or Lyft that had as many meals with Uber drivers as we did. In the beginning, especially, we did everything. I mean, we cleaned cars, we served their meals, we had lunch, many lunches with them. So we got a deep knowledge about what they needed. And for us, the pandemic, it's not bad to say, but it was almost like a blessing in disguise. Even though we had so many tragedy with the pandemic, but for us, it was a time for reflection and to think about how we can change our business and to come up with a solution that it's what it is now after a lot of pivots and adjustments, but a solution that can solve this problem all around the world, because it is a global problem. It's not a problem of Rio. The pain, the struggle that Rio drivers or São Paulo drivers are pretty much the same as drivers in the US, Mexico, whatever. So we decided to look at our business with a different approach, a more ambitious one and a more challenging one as well. So right over there.
So Luis or Pedro, let's talk quickly, a couple of minutes about, there are third-party apps that I know of, and Uber and Lyft. Well, Lyft is in the we call Lyft the little tree, Uber the big tree. So I'm gonna say Uber mostly. I'm not gonna say Uber and Lyft. So Uber is not fond of these third-party apps, right? So they tried to actually shut you guys down, and there was an app called Para, and DoorDash tried to shut them down. So these companies they're not transparent to start with, and they don't want the driver to have a clue of what the job entails. As an independent contractor, that kind of sounds backwards anyway. But so you had some trouble with Uber in Brazil, and so give us a little bit of color on what happened and how did that end up?
Okay, so real quick, they filed this lawsuit against us. I remember it was a Monday, and we received the subpoena. And right on Friday, they called us and said they wanted to get a meeting for try to settle. So it made no sense. But they claim in this lawsuit that we were stealing data from passengers, that we were violating passenger privacy, and then a bunch of other stuff that made no sense. And we said, we are not doing any of this. We see ourselves as court. So the lawsuit continued, and the last decision, the last ruling was in our favor. Like was a 3-0 from the Supreme judges, 3-0 for us, and that allowed us to continue to offer our services here in Brazil. Okay,
so the situation in Brazil seems like was resolved in your favor, right? And obviously, Uber does this because they feel threatened for some reason or another. Now, I'm wearing a shirt today that says #KnowYourWorth. 3 years ago, when we started the show, I said everybody in whatever they're doing, regardless, rideshare driver or a software engineer, you have to know your worth. If you don't know your worth, nobody's going to give it to you for free. However, there are tools that you can use, such as GigU, that will actually teach you what you're worth, because a lot of people, unfortunately, don't know what they're worth. So let's talk about the present a little bit. I know the version of the app in Brazil is quite different than what is being offered in the US. So as opposed to talking about the differences, first of all, why did you decide to come to the US? I mean, there could be a threat from Uber in the US as well, but it shows what kind of perseverance you guys have. And obviously that was an expensive adventure, I'm pretty sure, dealing with Uber in South America. But you guys decided to push forward. Why? Why come to the US?
So what happened is that when this lawsuit began, we started to receive a lot of messages from drivers all around the world, and many of them were American drivers. So we thought it was our mission. I mean, we are convinced that we need this solution to go everywhere in the world where these companies exist, and we need to provide the tools that we offer to give transparency, to give drivers a better chance of a higher income, more safety. So it was actually like, okay, if we are going to face legal problems in other countries. So let's do it. I mean, we are not doing what they claim that we're doing. So this, and we receive so much support from drivers. I mean, drivers all around the world demanding this gave us the courage to expand to the US, basically.
Yeah, I mean, US is a huge market, obviously, for Uber, and approximate numbers of 3-4 million drivers just on the Uber platform, delivering or doing rideshare. But tell us a little bit about the app now, right? What it does, what is it? You have some data to back your claims up, such as higher earnings, right?
Yeah.
But I think on these apps, probably the more important aspect of it is safety. For me, when I'm driving and I have literally 8 to 10 seconds while I'm driving on the freeway or while I'm driving in a street, picking somebody up or dropping somebody off, I'm getting bombarded with these offers. And accidents happen within a second. You just look away and something happens, right? Unfortunately, Uber has that timer at 8 to 10 seconds. So tell us a little bit about what the app does, how it functions. And if you do have data as far as better earnings after people using this app, talk to us a little bit about that as well.
Great. I'm going to invite Pedro to explain this a little bit because this is the part that he loves.
Okay, thank you. So whenever a job offer appears, we analyze the screen and show really quickly in less than a second. The smart copilot tells in a color grading system if that ride is good, which is a green, if it's so-so, which is yellow, and if it's a bad offer, you shouldn't accept. It pays really badly. It shows a red sign. So the driver's in the control to choose which trips they want to accept or not. So it's very simple, and it really helps really on the safety side, because as you said, there are so many offers that appears, and it's hard because you have a passenger with you, maybe it's raining, you have a traffic jam, you have to pay attention to many other things, and we really help in a simple way to let the driver be under control and choose the best trips and get the best earnings. So profit-wise, drivers increase in 30% their profits. It's not only earnings, because sometimes you can work for less time and get to your goal, and so you spend much less. So we also help on the earnings and help you spend less.
Yeah. Well, to walk us through about onboarding, walk us through about how simple this is to use, really, honestly. I mean, I know it, but I want you guys to tell our audience and whoever's going to watch this later how simple it is and why they should download this app.
So you just go to the Play Store, Google Play Store, and search for GigU. Download the app, and you can activate a 30-day free trial. Don't have to put your credit card or anything. Just start. You have to give some permissions on your phone to us, so we can analyze what's in your screen and then show you the color grading system and some other very important infos.
So basically, the driver sets his or her own filters or parameters, and then the app will, by color coding it, yellow, green, and red, will automatically tell the driver, well, it's green, you should take this trip, or it's red, according to their own parameters, because each city's flow, each city's earnings are different on Uber, right?
Exactly.
But I'm willing to accept, maybe somebody doesn't accept. So
the cost structure of each driver is very different. Maybe you're leasing a car, maybe you're renting a car, maybe you have already paid. It depends on the fuel type that you use. So the cost structure is very different. So the user can input this information, what are good, bads, and good trips and bad trips in terms of miles and in terms of time as well. So if you want to earn more than $40 an hour, and if it below $30 is bad, you input that. If maybe your cost is $1 per mile, you can put that you want to accept offers above 180 or below 140. It really depends on your cost structure. And after inputting that, we don't ask for any credentials. You don't have to put any information from the Uber platform or any other platforms, and then it works really easily.
Right. So the one thing that we need to mention here is GigU is available only on Android.
Yes.
However, I've said this many times, if you are a rideshare driver and you want to earn the maximum, you need the multi-app. When I'm driving, I have two phones. I've always used Androids. I have two Androids. But if you do have an iPhone, one way to get around it if you want to use this app is go get $100 Android. Run it off your hotspot on your existing account number, your phone number. You don't need another, phone line. I'm sure all of you have unlimited data. Run it off the hotspot, download the app, and use it on your other phone. There is no reason whatsoever to drive blind. None whatsoever. It's already a risky thing to drive. But the important thing is, besides earnings, I think the safety aspect of this app is really, really important for you guys to understand. So it's obviously color-coded, makes it pretty simple. What as far as the usability, we understand, right? Increasing earnings, drivers are always looking for better earnings, obviously. And there is a cherry picker function in here, right? It's called a cherry picking, right? I mean, as the president of CPU, Cherry Pickers United, and I'm wearing this shirt, I mean, if I don't know my worth, then nobody else knows their worth. So what do you have any data as far as cherry picking versus accepting every trip, which is better for a driver?
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So it's really variable what the driver pay is in terms of what he's earning per mile or per hour. So if you cherry pick and select the best offers, you really have a differential and much better result at the end of the day. So you really have to select the best one so you can up your profits. And of course, all the platforms want you to pick the worst ones, because that's when they get the best value out of it.
What would you say to a driver that's used to accepting everything? Like, accept and go. Whatever the algo throws my way, I'm going to take it. I just want to make a couple $100 a day. That's my goal. It takes me 10 hours to get a couple $100, or it takes me 6 hours to get a couple $100. I'm just going to get my couple $100 and go. Why should he use this app? And driver that accepts everything. We have a lot of those drivers in our community.
Yeah. Try GigU.
So the problem is, yeah,
you can make way more money. The things that we've seen here in Brazil is like acceptance rate dropping from like 80% to 25, 27%, and drivers reaching their quotas like faster, going home earlier with more money in their pockets. So it's that simple. By the way, we mentioned safety. I cannot forget to tell that we have a free safety feature, another safety feature that is a secret camera. So you don't have to buy an external camera. I know that you guys, I've seen a lot of your videos, you say every single time, first thing you do, buy a camera. But if you're just starting and you haven't bought a camera yet, if you don't have a camera, you can just use GigU app, and this feature is totally for free. You can use your cell phone front camera. With 2 clicks on the screen, it records everything that's happening inside the car and records on the background, so nothing changes on the screen. And this is a lifesaver feature.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Uber and Lyft, well, Uber to a larger degree, they do offer in-app audio and video recording now, but it goes to them, right? I mean, this is your own, and when you do it on the Uber app, the rider is notified, and then there's already friction happening on this one. You're just recording. And that's good for you to mention, Luis. So a few more minutes we have that we need to talk about this is when you talked about acceptance rate in Brazil dropping from 80%, 90% to 20, 30%, right? I know this for a fact. Now, Uber may deny this, but I know it for a fact that there is a major acceptance rate problem that these companies are experiencing in the US. The reason for that is obviously pay. Pay has, declined over the last 3-4 years, and there is no question. There's massive data on this. Gridwise did a report, as you guys are aware about that report. They're charging 50-60% more to the rider and paying 30% less to the driver. That's how they're profitable. As a rideshare driver, you have every right to be profitable. And I think GigU will facilitate that for you guys. But few other things I want to talk about. And, I've gotten to know you guys over the last couple of years, but specifically now over the last month or so, since you guys are launching in the US. I know your heart's in the right place, right? I know you want the drivers to flourish and do well. Obviously, there are objections to all these apps. Now, what are some of the common objections you have already heard in Brazil, and what are you doing about it? And what are you going to do about it in the future as far as the app is concerned?
I think that one of the things that we hear a lot from drivers in Brazil say, "Oh no, I do all these math by hand. I can do the math by myself." And as you said previously, Sergio, this is not that simple. Usually they don't make the calculations correctly, but most importantly, it's not safe. I mean, it's not safe for you to drive on a highway looking at your phone screen. Everything that we've been advocating as a society is not to use your cell phone while driving. So how come you have like 7 seconds to decide if you should accept a ride when we know from experience that many of these rides are not profitable? Or if they are profitable, the driver's making like cents or a dollar. So, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. So what we believe in is that you can use technology in your favor to achieve better results. And this is one thing that we talk a lot with people here. Why don't you try it? Try it. It's for free. Yep. And then you can tell me what you think.
Yeah. And so once they try it for 30 days, I saw a comment that, which I know is erroneous. Supposedly there is a Reddit thread that it says this costs $20 a month. It doesn't cost $20 a month, people. No. But let's talk a little bit about that. Okay. I downloaded the app. I'm comfortable with it. I put my filters in. I worked with it for 30 days. Now time comes. I really like it because in those 30 days, it showed me that I'm earning 20% more, 10% more. It doesn't matter. You're out there 40 hours a week. If you are, and if you're earning just $2 an hour more because you're using GigU, okay, that's $80 a week. That's $320 a month. That's $4,000 a year. So don't be stupid, people. Download the app, give it a shot. So what are the costs after the 30-day trial? Let's talk a little bit about that.
$6.95 per month.
Right. That's simple enough. $6.95. 30 days from the time they download it. They have 30 days to try it out for free. And then $6.95. Okay, that seems, I mean, that's like, for a full-time driver, that's like, I don't know. If you're going to make a couple of extra bucks per hour when you're out there because of GigU, that's $80 a week already. So I've listened to you guys on a couple of other podcasts or a couple of other forums, okay? And something you read on, actually shout out to Coast, to Matt and Lynn and all the folks up there. They have a wonderful spaces on X. I listened to you guys there, and for your credit, actually, you stayed the whole 2 hours, which was, amazing, right? But at the end of that, you guys read GigU's manifesto. What I want you guys to do is, I want you to guys, now everybody here, I don't know how many few hundred are here, and whoever is listening to this later, please listen to these gentlemen, listen to their manifesto. Let's see what it is. So whoever wants to take that on, you guys go ahead.
Yeah, I can read it real quick. But just before I do that, you know why we stayed the 2 hours of that spaces? Because everything that we accomplished to do that turned out good for the drivers and made a success is because we listen to the drivers.
Yeah.
So we don't waste any opportunities to listen to drivers. So without any further ado, so this is our manifesto. You can check it out on our website. So number one, transparency is not optional; it's essential. Self-explanatory. Everything is self-explanatory. But number two, being profitable should not require workforce exploitation. As we've seen in many research recently, I mean, Uber's increase in revenues basically because they're exploiting drivers. Technology should serve humans, not replace them. Fairness cannot exist without voice. Community beats exploitation. Earnings dignity is a human right. Data should benefit those who generate it.
Yeah. Well, there you go, folks. I mean, we talk about these issues all the time about exploitation and about, earnings is hassle-free is your right. And it is your right as an independent contractor to decline garbage and know your worth. And this will decline garbage for you guys. Now, if you're going to say, nope, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm driving 70 hours a week, making 2K, accepting every trip. Okay, maybe it's not for you. But again, there's a 30-day free trial. Go ahead and try it. You don't like it? Delete the app. No problem. We have a few minutes remaining. I want to give you guys the floor. And, let's talk maybe a minute or so about the future, because I see the chat flying. I saw a couple of questions. Is it going to the UK? Is it going global? Let's get that out of the way, and then we'll do we'll answer some questions.
Okay, just to go directly to it. So we're now our efforts are concentrated in the US now. So
Okay.
we cannot tackle multiple countries simultaneously. So we have a roadmap. We're going to we can make adjustments in terms of prioritization in this roadmap, but our focus now is the US. So right on after that, we can discuss other countries, because as I said before, it is a global problem. We want to be everywhere. We want to solve this everywhere gig workers need it. But first of all, let's make a big hit in the US, and then we can scale.
Let's take.
But it's really possible that we launch in Canada too. That
Okay.
should be briefly.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Well, North America, let's say, right? You guys are in South America. Are you in Mexico, by the way?
Not yet.
Not yet. Well, that's probably coming up. Okay, so let's answer some questions. Look, so to take care of all this, I'm in touch with these gentlemen, and I'm in touch with Tiago, obviously part of the company. So I voluntarily, I'm going to play their support for a little bit. So if you do have questions that hasn't been answered during this podcast at the moment, please shoot them to me, Sergio at therideshareguy.com. I will forward them. They're really good at getting on it and then getting back to you guys. I did it already, at least a handful of times already. So let's answer some questions from the audience, and then we'll say goodbye to you guys.
Okay.
Sergio, we do actually have a customer success team here that answers everybody. Inside the app, you can email us. We'll respond to you the next day. Right now it's only business day, but in Brazil, for example, it's a 24/7 service that we should bring to the US as well.
Okay, but at the moment, just for making things faster, don't worry about it. Send them to me, Sergio at therideshareguy.com. All right, so Rich K says, hey GigU, I got a message today stating app has a bug. Now that's a little general. You should have put what city you're in, where you're at, what you're doing. Are you on the trial version? Are you on the paid version? We need a little more context, but do you guys know anything about this?
Yeah, first of all, thank you, Rick, for trying it. And if you could send us a print screen of the bug or whatever happened with you, we would love to dig into that and solve this as soon as possible.
Yeah. Okay. Next one.
I can get the cherry picker to work on
I can't get the cherry picker to work on Long Island. Can you guys help, please? Okay.
Yeah, you can touch our support, as I said, through email. We really need more context to understand what's happening. There could be a couple of issues. For example, if on your state or city, there's no information about, for example, what Uber or other platforms are paying you. If that doesn't appear, the cherry picker won't work. Okay, it only works with everything that's on your screen that we analyze. So that could be one of the cases that it doesn't work. Or for example, you didn't give the right permissions on your configuration. So it could be a lot of things that we need more context to understand and help you out.
Okay.
Good thing people are trying. Good.
Okay, Steph says it's way too hard to turn on and off and turns on frequently on its own. Thus privacy, I'm assuming, to all my info on my phone that shows up. Way too compromised. What do you say to that?
Okay, that's a really good question. We just launched today this new version which
Okay.
solves that. Before we had this issue, it was because the cherry picker was turning off by itself on some phones. So we made a way that it wouldn't turn off. But on some phones, it's not on every phone. On some models, it was just not turning off because we solved this other bug. But right now, this new version, so please, Steph, update your app. That won't happen again. You just can turn on or turn off. When you turn off, it won't show up again. Okay.
Yep. So I squeezed one more, Chris. Let's end on a positive note. And Rich, who asked the first question, we'll end with Rich. He says, so far, I love this app. There you go. Now, there's going to be people, okay, but most of our crowd are veterans, right? They can do the math. It's all good, right? However, this is not about doing math, folks. There is as many of veterans as there are newbies. And newbies are the ones actually that take all that garbage trips because they don't know any better and they don't watch us. I mean, as big as we are, our reach is 300,000 drivers. There's 3 million of them out there. So the point is 30 days for free, nothing to lose, really. I mean, if you're going to complain about this, I think you guys are in the wrong business. But let's finish it off, guys. So I'll give you guys the floor, close it up, and obviously we'll be in touch. And there we go.
Just real quick on my side, then I will let Pedro say whatever he wants. But if people are finding any bugs, please, we want to know it. We want to get the app as the best version as it can be. We want to listen to what you want as new features, new ideas. We want to develop this alongside drivers as we did here in Brazil. We want to bring the same idea, the same vision, the same concept to the US. Same thing. The same things that we believe in are the same. As Sergio said, this is actually our history and what we developed so far. So please give us any sort of feedback. We want the tough ones as well. Please, these are the ones that make us grow. And the more people cherry pick, better earnings for everybody. Because if everybody's cherry picking, then the companies, they only have one thing to do: increase how much they're paying for you guys.
And our objective here is very much about education. So we need to help drivers educate that it's actually a business. You can't look only for your earnings, for example, because there's a lot of operational costs. So when you talked about accepting everything, there are many cases which the costs are higher than what you're getting paid. So at the end of the day, you can get maybe a good earning, but the result after a week, you say like, well, I don't see anything in my bank account. What happened? I earned so much. There are a lot of costs over there. So you have to be intelligent. This game has become really hard. So cherry picking really makes a difference. So we're here to educate new drivers, old drivers that do everything with their head and still want to doing the math on their head. I suggest you not to use our app because once you use it, you won't go back.
Well, I'm going to end on this. I've been driving for 10 years, okay? When I drive, I'm on autopilot, okay? But even in autopilot, there is pressure to focus, to pay attention to the next one, to the next one, to the next one, right? This one will relieve that pressure, and I'll be a better autopilot probably of myself. So I'm definitely going to use it. I'm going to give it a try. And, I'm a straight shooter. I'm going to tell you guys what I think of it. But at the moment, it looks very promising. So thank you, guys. Thank you for coming on. Luis and Pedro. Love your manifesto. I think you should just plaster that everywhere.
And thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Sergio.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Thank you. All right. So that is GigU, the founders and CEO, Luis and Pedro. So thank you for coming on. If you want more information on the app, link is going to be in the description, so you can go check that out. Again, it is for Android only. Unfortunately, no iPhone, but might be the reason why you need to switch now.
Yeah. Well, maybe get an Android.
Yep.
All right.
All right. So, are you ready for the next topic? We're going to be talking about Lyft introducing preferred driver for riders. So, what does that mean for drivers? Whew. Oh boy.
So this is for riders.
Huh? Yeah, but it's preferred
Do you
drivers.
do you think there is any truth in the statement that Lyft makes to riders?
Okay, so what? For those who aren't watching right now, basically it's a screenshot that shows what it is. It says introducing preferred drivers, the best ride on the road. From now on, we'll prioritize matching you with smoother drivers who accept more often. The two key things were there: smoother drivers, smooth cruise report, and drivers who accept more. So you can update this preference anytime in the profile settings. So
how does accepting more often make you smoother?
It's two different things if you read it. So it says smoother driver who accept more. So it's going to have like a criteria system, and it says, oh, you got to be maybe like 95 or higher or something, or whatever the threshold might be. And then the acceptance rate will be, again, who knows, maybe 50%, maybe 25% like Uber's, 75%. Who knows what it really, I haven't seen anything that would break it down, but yeah, it's two different criteria that they're going to try to do. So this basically tells you, hey, we're going to not give the closest driver the ride. We're going to actually hand select a particular driver for your ride based on those two factors. Because one, we want to keep our insurance costs lower, because that's what's going to help improve the smooth report, is somebody who is out on the road more, who's a better driver or less prone to getting in accidents because they are driving like grandma's in the car or something. And then the other one is you accept more. So yeah, there you go.
I mean, accepting more, I don't think has anything to do with you being smoother or maybe dumber if you accept more, unless they're all cherries. I mean, yeah, you throw me all cherries, I'll accept all of them. But unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. I think this is like an oxymoron here. You know, smoother driver, better driver, they accept more. They take all the garbage we throw at them, so we're going to match you with them. And, you know, I mean, there was a comment, I think I saw it on X, and it made a lot of sense. So if you're accepting a lot more, you're taking less breaks, you're constantly driving, right? You may even be more tired. So I'm not sure how that makes you, you know, a smoother driver, to be honest with you. But so Lyft is trying this on the riders.
It's two separate things. What they're saying is a smoother driver is somebody who has a higher score on the smooth cruise report. They're using that as criteria one. Criteria two is a driver's acceptance rate. So they're going to look at both of those that are different. Why they're considering that is not having, it has nothing to do with the rider, and it has everything to do with the driver. And that is, again, because the smooth cruise report is something that they can give to the insurance companies, and the insurance companies where they're trying to broker better deals. That's all it's going to come down to, because otherwise they're going to give them an overall report that says you have to pay X amount of price when it comes to your commercial insurance. Figure it out. This, in that case, is going to say we're going to prioritize riders to drivers who are driving better, and then on top of it, who are accepting more. So it's basically they're trying to manipulate drivers into driving better and accepting more. But the problem is, the smooth cruise report, yeah, you should probably be driving good anyways. You should probably be driving like grandma's in the car, putting desserts for the family at dinner time or something. So you should be driving like that at the beginning. But when it comes to accepting, it's because they want drivers probably to exploit them. Because think about it. If they know that a driver is going to accept more, they're going to offer that driver a little bit less, and the passenger can pay maybe a preferred price at that point for that setting. Who knows what that's going to look like on their end? I mean, it could be something where you pay 5% more. So now you're paying 5% more for a driver who's who's not cherry picking and who's going to accept everything, so they can lower the price on what they're going to pay, and then that means they're going to maximize a profit.
I get that, but I think let's see how this experiment goes. You know, preferred drivers. The best rides on the road. Okay. I haven't gotten this in my rider app yet, but if I do, I'm going to say no.
Because you don't accept enough.
I don't want a preferred driver.
In your passenger app, you mean?
Yeah, your rider app. Yeah, I don't want a preferred driver. I want a driver who cherry picks.
I want a driver who knows what they're doing.
Exactly. Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, that's some of the sneaky ass shit that they're starting to pull when it comes down to it. So yes, acceptance rate does not mean anything, although they're going to try to make it seem like there's something when it comes to acceptance rate. I don't know if you will get this in California, only because Prop 22, which we'll talk about later, when it comes to acceptance rate, that these
I didn't think I would get advantage
standard acceptance rate anyway. So that's something there.
But
yeah,
you know, I wasn't expecting advantage versus standard in California either. But look what showed up.
Yeah, but it's the curtail.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about it anyway. But no, so yeah, let's go to the next one. And this actually caught my eye. This is interesting.
So this is a patent, and I was reading through this.
Yeah.
So basically, the term rideshare, was actually supposed to be something different. So it was essentially, where was it? If you look at the definition of ride sharing in federal legislation, it's carpooling. Yeah. So it was supposed to be more carpooling, but yet Uber and Lyft kind of changed it to what it is today, where it more ride hailing. So that's the difference. Ride sharing and ride hailing kind of have gone synonymous. So yes, if you want to talk about the story and set it up, and then I'll end on it with why I think Karma's not thinking properly here.
Okay. So there's this company that's finally, after 5 years or 6 years of deliberating, suing Uber because going to patent court or suing 180 billion dollar company is not cheap. And but this company has patents, 5 to be specific, but then those 5 go into another 10 each, that saying that Uber, they asked them, why are you going after only Uber? They said, no, we'll just go after the big fish first, and then the little fish comes after that. So they're saying that they invented rideshare. Actually, they have all the patents. In fact, Uber tried to file similar patents in 2019, and it got rejected because of these patents. So then Karma said, it was Go Karma, said that, hey, maybe we have something here. And obviously, law is what is law. And now they're suing Uber. And obviously after that, they'll go after Lyft and whatever not. So if you go to the next screenshot, Chris. All right. So the CEO of the company says it took them a while to come to terms with the idea that we actually had to sue Uber in order for them to respond, because they had sent them messages saying that, hey, you guys are breaking the law or infringing upon our patents. And then Uber said, go take a hike, or they didn't say anything actually. So the Uber declined to comment on the lawsuit. So now there's an existing lawsuit, and Karma, so it seems like they're saying they're going to spend at least $10 million, fighting this against Uber. And I'm sure their heart's in the right place, but Uber has the bucks, Uber has the lawyers, Uber has, they'll tie him up in court and bleed him to whatever, right? And we'll see where this goes. But this really caught my eye because TechCrunch doesn't write fluff. I'm sure they did their research, and I'm pretty sure this is, whatever the company is contending, is pretty accurate. But I want to hear your take on this, sir.
All right, so I think they're gonna go up Schitt's Creek without a paddle on this one, only because when it comes down to it, the thing is definitions change. So that's kind of the biggest thing. The definition of what they went for, what it's become, is different. And you see that in law all the time, where they try to change the definition of something in order to change whether it's a law, change whether it's a contract, whatever it might be, to kind of skirt around it, to get around it. So you see that happening all the time, more so probably in today's world than ever before, where they're trying to do that. So that I think is kind of the same thing. One of the big things is, like, Think of Jacuzzi, think of Kleenex, think of Uber when it comes synonymous with ride hailing. We'll say ride hailing, which if you want to be specific, that would be more what it is. But yeah, when it comes down to it, it's a definition thing. And I think that because of the mass adoption rate of people using it as rideshare versus ride hailing, I mean, you definitely see ride hailing, but nowhere near as much as ride sharing. It's much more synonymous. So I think something like that, because of just the term, because of how it's used, because of the general census of what people are using in general, I don't think it gives them a leg to stand on. But then again, I'm not a lawyer and I'm not a judge, so we'll see what happens in the event that it actually goes to court.
Yeah, I mean, I think this will take forever. Obviously, that's why they put away $10 million to fight this. Their contention was that they did invent ride sharing because they were really like a Uber pool, or actually Lyft started with ride sharing, actually sharing the car, going the same direction by 2-3 people to get traffic, to make traffic better. But then Uber flipped the game on ride sharing. Nobody's sharing anything. Everybody's one, Uber X is one person in one car. And they said that's why they were hesitant to sue. But then now they're going back to their roots and they're suing. And we'll see. Good luck to karma.
Yeah, like I said, I don't really think they have a leg to stand on, only because of the definition, because of the wide acceptance of it being used across the board for something specific. It's not the same thing when it comes to some other of these trademarks or patents or anything, at least in my opinion.
Look at this thing, bro. Gary Middleton is here. He goes, tornado warning, got around. Holy shit, Gary, run.
Oh boy.
Jesus.
Yeah, be careful. Be safe.
Shit.
Get to that tornado. Get down underground.
Like in the bunker.
Yeah.
All right. So I see what's coming next. And so obviously I do read everything that comes out on Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, whatever, right? And my Google feed algo, news feed algo, is pretty comfortable now feeding me. And I do click on it because I have to read it to keep up with what's going on, right? Unfortunately, it also feeds me these. That's why the segment topic is rideshare driving safe? And this is just a few. So this is just this past week that the algo pushed on me. Okay, a day ago, 2 days ago, right? Recent. These are all recent. 6 hours ago. Okay. Uber driver stripped of license, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Greensboro man accused of strangling Uber driver, attacking security guard. This was the lady who shot and killed her Uber driver because she thought she was getting carjacked or hijacked. There's another one. Police multi-agency response after Uber driver shot in the face. Uber driver shot outside Colombia. I mean, bro. Okay. Like, I'm serious. So that's why we named the segment, is Uber driving safe? Lyft driving safe. Now, a lot of you may say, and Uber says this too, which to a point I kind of agree. And there's another one, man assaults Charlotte Uber driver, racially motivated attack. Bro, it's like non-ending, one after the other. So obviously, rideshare driving is an dangerous business. It replaced cabbies, and cab driving was a very dangerous profession for decades, right? Although we recommend dash cams, although we recommend, all your safety tools to be in your box, pull over the lit spot, grab your keys, your phone, jump out of the car, and, have that training for yourself. When shit goes sideways, shit's going to go sideways. And I think our pay, which is our biggest pain in the ass at the moment, is not commensurate to the risks that we're taking. However, if you look at the scale of the business, when Uber says they do 33 million trips per day, every single day, and I'm sure if I were to take 33 million steps going on a straight line, not uphill, downhill, whatever, I'm sure I'll sprain my ankle and break a hip or do whatever I do. That doesn't make it right. So, but this is what I'm proposing, Chris. Let's see if you agree with this. If a rideshare driver is killed, hurt, whatever, I don't know the law, state by state, and I even don't know the law in California, actually. If the family of that driver, specifically after the trip is over, after P3 is done, or when they're on the app, somebody comes, puts a gun to their head, give me your money or whatever. I don't know the law, so I'm going to educate myself on that. Can the driver's family sue? Because I do see a lot of GoFundMe pages created, all these things created for this, right? And I think the next few legislative efforts should include that rideshare drivers should have the right to get compensated, especially if they're hurt or killed, or at least their medical bills taken care of. So I'm going to try to open this can of worms. I'm going to try to talk to some legislators, because there's a lot of programs coming around. Oregon is coming around, with the minimum wage thing and this thing, that thing, but with anti-deactivation protection and all these things. I don't see much about this subject, because when my news feed is full of this, I'm sure there's more every day. What is the protection that drivers have outside them protecting themselves, obviously? But what is it? What is their legal rights? Can they sue? Can they sue the rider? Can they sue the person who put a gun to their head? And Uber and Lyft and DoorDash and whatever, right? I really want to educate myself on this. And I want to talk to some legislator about this.
Well, when it comes down to what Uber and Lyft will try to say is they're an independent contractor, so we just connect the rider and the passenger and the driver together. So we're washing our hands of it. Could the family come and sue them? It's very possible. I'm sure that they're probably getting lawyers all the time calling them at that point saying, hey, we want to represent you, that type of thing. When it comes to holding the person responsible who did it, if they know who did it and they found who did it, yeah, they absolutely can sue them. I mean, it's like if somebody came into your house in the middle of the night and you shoot them, but you don't kill them, you could be civilly liable for their injuries. So it's the same exact concept there. The only difference is you are the victim, or your family is the victim of somebody else. So yeah, they can definitely be civilly liable. When it comes to Uber and Lyft, they might try to go under the guise of independent contractor, and too bad. But I think there's certain states that are coming around and saying that's not the case, that Uber and Lyft are actually going to have to be responsible for these particular cases. And then also where it would be beyond P3, because I know we've talked about it. I believe it was with Washington State, where they were talking about beyond P, where it would be if the driver got killed on the job, that they have things set up, but also it would include time after P3, depending on what was going on and how the scenario was playing out.
Yeah. And Washington State always in the lead on these things, but I'm going to definitely look into this. I think we're at the point that not a day goes by that I get like boatload of these in my app. I mean, look, I get it because I'm interested in it. Not that I want this to happen, but then in this scale of things, if you look at it, it's probably 0.00001%, but talk to that person who just lost their life, right? Or whatever, and their family. So I think there should be some sort of protection or extra protection, even if you're finished the trip. So we'll see where it goes.
Yep, absolutely. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about AI and Gemini, which is Google's AI. A response to a question that you put in. Tell me about the financial, physical, mental, and spiritual demands of Uber driving on a human.
Yeah, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I want you guys to react to this. So whoever in the chat, whoever's going to watch it later, please leave a comment after the show below on the comment section. I put this in Gemini, and it came back with it because this is a subject that I really want to start talking a little bit more about. We only pay attention to, Chris, to financial situations, right? Oh, I'm not making any money, but still I'm turning the app on the next morning and still doing it, right? But there is other things when you're doing rideshare, and I want to really, like, if some of you actually want to do some behind the wheel about this topic, I would really, really like to start digging deeper into this, because it's not just financial, okay? I know we're doing it for money, but there is physical, there is mental, there is spiritual. A driver is a human. We're not robots yet. We're not autonomous vehicles, right? And so I asked Gemini this question. Tell me about the financial, physical, mental, and spiritual demands of Uber driving on a human. All right. He came back saying driving for Uber presents a multifaceted set of demands on individuals, encompassing financial, physical, mental, even spiritual aspects. While it offers flexibility, it also comes with significant challenges. Obviously, financial demands we already know. Unpredictable income, high operating costs, fuel, vehicle maintenance and depreciation, insurance. We all know, hopefully by now, after you guys watching us for 3 years, you all know this shit. But I want to go deeper into a little bit more into the mental aspect, the physical aspect. I don't know too many the Uber drivers who have six packs. Chris, do you?
You might have started with six packs, but now you're looking down and you might not be seeing your feet as much.
I see. When I look down, I see six pack of fat. That's what I see. So
it definitely. I mean, being the fact that you sit around for hours on end, usually a lot of people are going to Burger King or Chipotle or whatever it might be for food.
That would be
definitely
healthy,
plays a massive impact on the health side.
Chipotle would be healthy. Yeah. So then it goes into taxes, phone, and data plan. So that's the physical part. And I mean, financial part. Pressure to work long hours. Obviously, we're working longer hours to make the same amount of money we did a couple, 3 years ago. And decline in net earnings. So in this part, it was pretty accurate, I would say. Gemini, good job. So physical demands, prolonged sedentary behavior, 100%. We're just sitting in the cars. I mean, done. Musculoskeletal problems, absolutely. Knees, hips, back, lower back, circulatory issues, absolutely. We're sitting. Increased risk of chronic diseases. Next page. Fatigue, obviously, 12-hour shift, not easy. Eye strain, exposure to elements, repetitive motions. Yes, all of this. I don't think this is talked enough. I meet a lot of drivers weekly, literally, and I talk to them a lot. And when I'm at LAX or whatever, I do meet, see them. I don't see too many in shape drivers. Maybe 1 out of 10 would be really in shape.
Yeah, Kian, he's like a little. I said you got Kian. He's like a little stick right now.
Kian, the green bean. Yeah, that for sure. Yeah. So now we go into mental demands, right? Okay. So this is, I think, where we're paying our dues mostly, because look, if you had bad eating habits, you already have bad eating habits, and rideshare driving is not going to making you fatter. Okay. But so mental demands
exasperate it.
Yeah. Absolutely will make it worse for sure. Yeah. So this is the part I want to pay attention to. Stress and anxiety. Okay. Financial insecurity. The unpredictable income creates significant financial stress and anxiety about making ends meet. Performance pressure, ratings, obviously, acceptance rates, because they're all, you're receiving orders now that we're getting advantage versus standard, putting extra mental pressure on you. Dealing with passengers, obviously, most are good, 99 probably are good, but that one bad apple will probably mess your day up. And then the next slide. So I want to talk about this. I really do, guys. So if you guys are interested, come in and talk about these.
Well, you know what? I think we should poll the audience right now as we're live and say, hey, would you like to see an episode more dedicated to all of the, we just go through these topics and have like a back and forth, on this. And if you guys are interested in this to learn a little bit more, or, maybe learn some combative aspects of it too. Because they're like, yes, the sedentary aspect, but there's things that you can do in order to combat that. When it comes to financial insecurity, there's things you can do to try to help mitigate that. So there's a lot of things that can actually be done to help out and, maybe help solve the problem. So if this is something that you guys are interested in, maybe we can dedicate an entire show that would be right on these particular slides that we're showing, and just kind of go back and forth between things.
This is a great idea. Great idea. So part of it is isolation and loneliness, burnout. Obviously, there's burnout, 8 months, right? Everybody quits in 6 to 8 months. Sense of lack of control. We don't have control other than turning the app on or off. Safety concerns, right? And then there are spiritual demands, obviously. You're sitting in your car, most of us saying, why am I doing this, man? Why am I an Uber driver? Why am this? I'm berating ourselves constantly. I should do better, but I don't know how to do better. I'm in this, mousetrap. I'm just going on and on and on every day, and I'm chasing stuff. And so there is a lot that goes into doing rideshare. I don't think it's just about the money. And, I don't think we can equate our success to just money. Oh, yeah, I grossed $400 today. So all these problems, not problems, all these demands on your body, mental, physical, spiritual part of you, are you getting paid enough for this, right? Or, is flexibility covering up for most of these, actually, right? I really want to talk about this. I want to talk about that, okay? And so if you guys are interested, email me, Sergio@therideshareguy.com, or like Chris said, we'll put up a poll. If you guys want to do a specific show about this and talk about, financial, we know, mostly physical, mental, and spiritual aspects of rideshare driving. Let's talk about it. I think it's time, because that's the part that is hidden, actually, almost.
Do you want to go through the spiritual demands or what?
Yeah, let's go. Spiritual demand: opportunity for reflection and mindfulness. For some, long stretches of driving can become a time for quiet introspection, prayer, or listening to podcasts, audiobooks, and whatever. Testing of patience and compassion, sense of service and connection. So a lot of drivers do it because they serve their customers well, because they know they're in the service industry. And questioning purpose, meaning. This is the part that I think a lot of us do on our low days, when the algo is playing with us. Like, what is my purpose in life? Am I just only an Uber driver? Which is nothing wrong with Uber driver. There's a stigma attached to it anyway, but then it gets on you. It gets heavy on you. Why can't I do something else? Why am I just an Uber driver, right? We ask these questions to ourselves, and that takes a mental toll. And so, yeah, I'm really, really curious. I want to hear your voices, and I want our voices to go out, and I want the companies to understand that, this is not an easy thing to do, Uber and Lyft. Okay. I do understand your CEOs go out and dog food. In fact, I watched a whole episode with Sachin yesterday that he's the dog food CEO of dog fooding at Uber. And with all due respect, Sachin, I would love to have you on the show, obviously. But you're doing like 6-8 trips, deliveries, or driving passengers around is not that much. Dog fooding is not going to fix anything. But we still appreciate you doing it. So yeah, I want to talk about this. So anyway, yeah, let's talk about it. Robert Buckaloo, I think you're going to be on Behind the Wheel anyway. There you go. Yep, he's one of my candidates right there.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, it's there's definitely a lot to it, and I think one of the big things is the longer you're doing this, the more you're going to be a lot less healthier, both physically and mentally. And I think you got to work in certain things in order to, keep sane and keep healthy as best you can. Because yeah, if you're sitting in the car 12, 16 hours a day or something, where you are just sitting there, there are things that you can potentially do to mitigate some of the issues. Like, every 45 minutes, every hour, you stop the car, pull over for a few minutes, get up, stand up, stretch a little bit, walk around your car a few times, just to kind of get yourself moving and your body not so acclimated to just sitting the whole time. That helps. Food delivery. So if you're mixing in with that, it's nice because yeah, you're getting in and out of your car a bunch of times. So you're getting up, you're moving around, you're going into the restaurant, you're standing there,
Yep.
You're waiting. You go back to your car. Same thing when you got to go deliver the food to somebody. If you got to go up 3 flights of stairs to go to get somebody food, then those types of things can definitely help. So yeah, if you're starting to feel just a little tired, maybe you turn the delivery app on for a little bit, get a couple of orders in, so you're moving around. But yeah, doing different things like that. There's definitely ways where you can mitigate and combat certain things when it comes to this. So then that way you are not going insane. You are not, mentally and physically exhausted or getting any type of chronic illness or anything like that. So there's a lot of things that we can talk about when it comes to hopefully solving that, or not solving it, but at least mitigating the issues and combating that.
I agree. Yep, definitely. But let's talk about it, folks.
All right. So With that being said, Gemini had a great wrap up when it came to that. I wonder what else we could get it to say. Maybe throw it in a Grok.
I put it in ChatGPT and Gemini. I use Gemini because I have an Android. It's directly on my phone. I like Gemini. I use ChatGPT, the paid version as well. ChatGPT was a lot more condensed. This was a lot more detailed, and I like this one better. So that's why I put that one up. But I think it hit on all the points, Chris. I don't think I could have written an article better myself if I just sat in front of my Google Docs and just put it in an article. I don't think I could have done it better. So that's where AI is going, folks.
I think you should put this into an article.
You know what? You know what? There you go. Samantha, here it comes.
I think that would be a fantastic article.
I think so too. You know what? Great idea. Here it comes.
It's definitely something where we can. I mean, there's a lot of things that I see on here that you have the issues, but it's also there's a lot of things that you could potentially do in the workflow to help.
That's what I should do. I should put the paragraph. I should put the segment, and then how do you mitigate that? Like get out, take a few walks, do some stretching. The next one, if you're feeling really down and you end up at the beach or something, get out of your car, take a few deep breaths. Don't go down on yourself. Don't get depressed and things. Great idea. That's what we're going to do. Article is going on the newsletter. Check it out, folks. There you go.
Yep. All right. With that being said, let's move on and let's talk about some more shaving going on.
Matt here? Oh, Matt's here. Matt's here, right here.
Matt's here. Yep, there he is. He just commented.
Right,
so
there's Matt. I told you it's going up. I told you. What did I tell you, Matt? I said, you know where this is going. Matt, I have asked this to Uber. I've yet to hear. The one on the right. Okay. Let's just go with okay. Let's just go with okay. However, if you guys do, I posted the Sachin's an hour and a half interview on, because he's the CPO, Chief Product Officer at Uber. He's responsible for everything that hits your app, okay? It was a really good interview, and I posted it on X, so please go check it out if you're following me on X. Listen to the interview. He talked about these things, and it's in the section where he talks about profitability, and very telling answers actually during this interview, but I just won't be the judge of it. You guys go listen to it. The one on the right is a few penny shaving, which is part of the algorithmic wage discrimination part. So both these trips went from trip radar to exclusive. Okay. However, the one on the left, I asked Uber one question. I said, can you explain this to me? So I haven't heard yet.
I think you should have gone with Matt's response saying, make it make sense.
I don't know. I just said, please explain this to me because I know who I sent it to and they should be able to explain this to me. That's why I said that. So Matt gets this trip radar with a $5, what is it? $5.23 priority pay, right?
Yep. And
he gets it at $20.92. Now, on the onset, half hour, $21, 42 per active, above Massachusetts minimum. I'm sure Matt's not going to take that. He didn't, obviously, but he didn't. He goes, no, thanks. And then it showed. And as we know, if it shows up on your trip radar, there's about 80 to 90% chance that you're going to get pinged with it within 10 seconds. As if you declining on trip radar is not a message to Uber saying that I'm really not interested. And then Uber goes, oh, yeah, we're going to send it to you as an exclusive. Now, maybe you'll be interested then. In fact, we're going to send it to you for like almost $5 less.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about enshittification and shaving. How much money was
it? I love how it goes. Yeah, it's a minute difference. So the first one comes the trip radar at $20.92 they're giving you with the $5.23 included for priority pickup. But then 1 minute later, it comes in at $16.19, and then it only has $1 included for premium pickup. But
what happened to that $4.23 in priority?
And he's sitting at the same spot.
Yeah. Nothing changed. And Uber is going to say, you know what Uber may say? which that's why I think they're taking their time. Do you see where it says 3 minutes to pick up? And then the other one says 2 minutes to pick up? Do you see that?
Yeah, they'll come up
That's
with
the
some
only thing
BS.
difference. Out of all the data on these ping screens, that's the only difference. There's no other difference.
Mm-hmm.
So that's worth that $4, almost $5 haircut, Uber?
No, definitely not.
I don't know. I mean, first of all, if there was, and this is the same passenger, same pickup, same drop off, everything is the same. What happened? Because most of the money was shaved on the priority side. On the trip radar, it shows $5.23 on priority, and that goes down to $1. What is not priority? It's only $1 worth of priority now? Is that what happened? Did you give the $4.23 or discount to the rider, Uber? Did you? I doubt it. I very much doubt it. So Uber, you take a screenshot of this. Okay.
Oh, they already
long
did.
enough.
Don't worry.
Let me know. Let me know. Okay, let me know. Yeah. I
Are you
don't
done
know.
with these
I can't answer it. I don't know. Can you answer this? Do you tell me, Chris? I don't know. If this
Can
is not
I answer it? I think their algorithm is moronic or something. I don't know.
Enshittification right here.
See, here's the thing. Here's the thing. You know, it's like the anti-curry. If you're on curry and an order comes in and you're like, yeah, that's not going, that I ain't taking that because it's just a shit offer. You know, 15 minutes later, it'll come in, it'll go up. You know, still not great. It goes up a little more.
Matt says, I was in the exact same parking lot. He was on the other side of the lot. No way they could say it was a minute less either. There you go. Well, even if it's a minute less, is a minute worth $4.23 on priority? No. What is the actual difference actually here? Is it like $5? Actually, it's more than, hold on a second. What's 2092 minus 1619?
$1.23. No, I don't know.
It's $4.73. Hold on a second. I just figured something else out. So the priority went from 523 to 423.
No. It went from 523 to $1. So it took out $4.23.
Yeah, but the trip went down 473.
See, the problem is they're like, oh, we're gonna put it here at this price, but then we're gonna start going down from there. It's the opposite of curry. Curry will at least start low and then go high. And it's like this is like
okay. I would
algorithm gone wild.
Uber, hold on, Uber. I would understand this if you cut priority from 523 to 1. That's 423. But you cut the trip 473. You cut it another 50 cents. Uber, what's happening? What kind of algorithm is this? What kind of geniuses do you have over there? Seriously. You know, we're gonna have one of these every week now. This is unbelievable. I mean, yeah. Talk about enshittification. Anyway, thanks, Matt. I told you it's going up. There you go. It's going up. Yeah. Not only they shaved off the priority, they shaved off the fare. Wow. Wonderful. Okay, cool.
I don't know how that makes, but you know, this isn't, I've seen it where it's gone down and down and down. Not usually that drastic, but it'll just go down. Like, what the hell? And then don't worry, we have another one.
Lyft, this is not just Uber. This is not just Uber.
You're not out of the woods, Lyft.
Yeah, Lyft does the same thing, right? Lyft does it. Actually, you know, you have to do some math on Lyft, and then you know this is also Matt's work. He goes, you know, he circled it all, and so you know how Lyft does it, like when they give you a bonus. So I'm gonna sort of read it, okay? So the next setup starts with the ride finder. You know, their trip radar, right? Offer shown at 10:10 p.m. for $8.10. This includes a 74-cent 10% turbo bonus. Okay, cool. No takers on the ride finder, so let's send the ride offer to me directly at 10:12 p.m. for $9.13. This is an increase of $3 from the previous offer, but I have a $1.50 bonus on. That's a surge, right? The offer should be $9.60. Pretty simple math here. I mean, this is not even PEMDAS, Lyft. This is just addition and subtraction, sir. Base fare shaved by 47 cents before adding the $1.50 bonus. So all of this shows that all these bonuses, all these turbo hours, all these, you know, all these supposed additions, well, they are just fare replacement. Okay, they're not. So the game has completely changed. We don't really care about turbo, this, that, because it's all going to get factored in by the algo.
Because the base fare will start up here. You put in a turbo or a bonus or something, then the base fare goes to about here. If you put a pre-tip in, the base fare goes to about here. So
this is more of a reason for you guys to put it in fucking GigU. Just decline.
All this is manipulation and games that they're playing.
Well, if you guys watch Sachin's interview, it's pretty telling. You guys should go watch that or listen to it at least. It was a really good interview, though. So I invited him.
We'll see. Doors open.
At the end, the interviewer asked, "How do people reach out to you?" And he said LinkedIn. So I went to LinkedIn and we follow each other on LinkedIn, and I said, Sachin, I listened to your interview. Really interesting. And there's a lot of takeaways. We may actually, if he says no or take a hike, doesn't even respond, most likely he won't. We will go through his 7 or 8 points and kind of take it down next week of what he said. There's a lot of telling things in there. So anyway, yeah.
Sounds like a plan. All right. With that being said, let's move on. For those who like Advantage versus Standard, it's expanding, and it's expanding in California. And Sergio, I texted Sergio a screenshot. He's like, what? It's coming to California. I didn't see this. He's like, how is it coming to California? Prop 22 says you can't do anything with acceptance rate. Au contraire. Don't you worry. There is no worry about acceptance rate in Advantage
but
versus
hold on.
Standard
Hold
when it
on.
comes to California drivers.
Hold on.
What?
Read the cities. Read the cities that this is going into.
Hold on.
It's in this. It's under. It may be in the other screenshot, but there are cities in here. Or hold on a second. Is it in the other one? Yeah, I may be on the other one. Or did
it might be in the other one.
There's another one.
Basically, it's into a few different areas of.
Hold on. I have the okay. Why don't you read some of the thresholds? I told you that the acceptance rate is illegal. They can't do it here. Okay, but read some of this stuff that's coming to California. Advantage versus Standard. So
right,
we will
let me
be testing this, folks. Yeah.
Hold on. Let me go back to where.
Just go to their
is
blog, or I'll get it for you. Hold on a second. I'll get it for you. There's a link right here. The link is right here. No, not this one. Good old Daniel sent me everything. Oh, here it is. Here it is. All right, here we go. We're now expanding this program to select cities during the week of June 22nd to a city near you. Look what's missing, Chris. And where do I drive, Chris? Okay. Bakersfield, California, Fresno, California, Inland Empire, which is way east of me, Palm Springs, way east of me, Sacramento, California, San Diego, California. Good news, Steph. Santa Barbara, California. What's missing, Chris?
LA County.
Haha. I ain't getting it. That's why it's not in my app.
Joke's on you. You can't get 5% of nothing.
Better you than me. Better you than me. Anyway,
either way, yes. Advantage Standard mode is coming to different areas in California, and it's going to be starting the week of June 22nd. Now, for those who have Advantage versus Standard, there's 4 criteria that you need to have, there's 2 criteria or whatever it is, and then there's some wait, what is
in other states it's 25% AR, 8% CR, and 80%, I think, CMT score.
Yeah, well, also was there? I think there's a star rating involved too, right? With those areas.
Advantage Standard? I don't know. Maybe. Yeah,
I don't know. But either way, no, there's no acceptance rate that's allowed in California because of Prop 22. So
that's exactly right.
Advantage mode, all you have to do is have a cancellation rate of 8% or less, which is the same. You have to have a star rating of at least 4.85, and you also have to have a driving score of 75 or greater.
There's no acceptance rate, folks. Keep declining and reclining.
Yeah, keep declining or reclining, and you can still get Advantage mode. So you can get 5% of nothing.
Yeah. That's one good thing I told you about Prop 22. They can't do it due to Prop 22. Because in Prop 22 it says we can decline all you want with no repercussions. Although we do get throttled. I mean, we know we get throttled. But at least the version that we have in California, in all those cities I mentioned, doesn't have an AR restriction. So we can still decline and recline. People, don't even worry about it. The 5%, I'm not even sure if you're going to get 5%, and 5% over what anyway. And we need to get this test going, Chris.
Well, I think with the previous segment, it actually showed that the shaving is going to shave advantage versus standard. Although
yeah,
we did have those two screenshots of the advantage standard right next to each other.
Yeah.
And it was actually pretty much right at that 5%, but there was a little discrepancy that could have potentially happened, and we got to figure that part out first. But to Uber's credit, it was at that 5% threshold at the surface. So I'm going to say, there's 5%, but who knows? That's why we're going to test out and report back so you guys know. What if is advantage or standard even worth it?
So before they announce advantage versus standard, this is starting June 26th. What if they cut the rates by 5% and then they give you that 5% back as if you're advantage? What if they already do that?
Please, of course they do that. So the ride that normally pays, it's going to pay $10.
Okay,
but because they're going to slowly start bringing it down a little bit, so instead of $10, you're going to see $9.82, and then you're going to see $9.64.
Yeah,
and then you're going to see a big drop to like $8.90.
Well,
and then they're going to be like, oh, now that same $10 ride, we're going to give you $8.90, and then it's going to be we'll give you 5% on top of that $8.90, so it'll bring it to $9.24, and there you go.
I think it's worth a try.
No matter what, you still lost money on both of them, whether you're advantage and standard.
Yeah, I know, but I think it's time to do this serious test. So I know I asked you guys to send me emails. I get way too many emails. I know some of you probably sent me emails to volunteer. You have to be a driver in an advantage versus standard city, number one. Number two, you have to know other drivers. So you have to go find yourself 2 advantage drivers and 2 standard drivers, and we're going to put you, and once you guys get in touch with me, I will explain you guys how this is done, and we're going to do it. So help me out. Help me do this, folks. You know what I mean? So if you're interested in participating, Sergio at the rideshareguy.com. And we'll see how it goes.
All right. Well, yes. Now let's talk Robotaxi. Apparently Tesla Robotaxis are launching in Austin. Of course, because, well, that's where the center is now. So it makes only sense that it would be there. And Austin is a Waymo spot and all this other crap. So sorry, Austin. You guys are really screwed now, because not only are you going to have Waymos, but now you're going to have Robotaxis coming. And not only that, I believe they're doing like 1,000 cars or something like insane.
10 cars to start. 10.
Oh, 10? No, 10. What the fuck? Who cares?
10.
Jesus. You would be worried. You said 1,000.
10 to start, but then there'll be thousands, I'm sure, if it works out.
I know.
Okay, so here's the deal. So I don't mention it anymore, but I don't know why I should. So I have a finance channel at Sergio Avidian. If you're interested in these types of topics, trading, investing, without being trading and financial advice, please go subscribe, because I talk about this issue on that channel. And what Bush Securities says is Tesla Robotaxi's long-term threat to Uber's business model. Is it? We can discuss this there fully. And Uber actually, stock at about 95, now it's down to about 82. Every time there is Robotaxi news or Tesla Robotaxi or Waymo news, it gets hit a little bit and then it recovers. But this time it's not recovering. However, if you guys are interested in these kind of topics, by all means, please go subscribe there. Turn on all notifications, because I do a bunch of live streams. So I think, and Sachin talked about this subject too, AV. They said, we're going to have a hybrid model, right? Okay, cool. We're going to need drivers, because he said AVs are going to create more demand, so our drivers are going to be busier.
Pipe dream.
Right. I go, okay, cool. But what do you guys think? You guys think the Uber's and Lyft's demise is going to be AVs? What do you think, Chris? You think that? You think Uber and Lyft are going to get hurt by AVs?
I think that Dara put the writing on the wall where he wanted to already partner with Tesla because nobody wants to compete with Tesla.
Yeah.
So I think Uber and Lyft's days are numbered only because one, you're already jacking up the price too high where passengers aren't going to be paying for that and are getting sick of that cost. Same thing on the flip side where drivers are not getting paid enough because of the chase for the almighty profit. So when you're trying to appease your shareholders, you're going to try to burn the candle at both ends like Uber and Lyft are doing, and pissing off everybody in between. So
Okay.
I think that, yeah, if somebody comes along who knows how to do it properly, and whether it's AVs, whether it's humans that are going to be driving, I think that Uber and Lyft stays if they don't make a drastic change. When somebody else comes around that does it better, we all know what happens to those people. They disrupt the disruptors. And I mean, Netflix did that to Blockbuster. Uber and Lyft did that to the taxi cab industry. And guess what? Lifespan of these things was quicker and quicker and quicker. So you're going to see more disruptions happen quicker during these times because when one person solves some problems, well, other people will find other problems and solve those only to make it better. So their days are numbered, in my opinion, no matter what.
Okay, so my somebody said, Sergio, but you said you never discuss. I don't discuss rideshare business there. I discuss Uber, I discuss Lyft, the stocks, earnings, whatever not, because we can trade them there. That's. But I don't discuss rideshare on the other channel because I don't think it's the place. We have this channel for that. So I'm going to read a quick excerpt. So Wedbush thinks it's going to happen, right? If Tesla's robotaxis come, because Waymos are not going to scale quick enough for Uber to get hurt. Plus, they're in bed together anyway. But it says while a full rollout may be imminent, this is interesting to me. Americans also remain skeptical of the promise of autonomous vehicles. In a recent poll of 8,000 U.S. consumers, now 8,000 is a decent number. It's not massive, but it's decent. By market research firm Electric Vehicle Intelligence Report, 71% said they would be unwilling to ride in a Tesla robotaxi. This is specifically Tesla robotaxi, not Waymo. With 43% saying that robotaxi should be illegal. Holy shit, that's a big number. However, having been in a full self-driving Tesla and having been multiple times in a Waymo, at the moment, Waymo has a clear lead, clearly, and in driving, in everything. I would, we have a crowd in Austin, so when these things are being tested fully autonomously, just like Waymo, without a driver or without a remote driver, because supposedly Tesla is hiring a lot of people in Austin to be remote drivers for these things, Chris. And I'm going like, that's bogus. If you're not driving yourself, then what's the point? So anyway, what do you guys think? Wedbush is ridiculous, says William Arazo. What do you know about Wedbush, William? Why is it ridiculous? I don't know. Okay, anyway, so we'll see. Tesla Robotaxi coming June 10th, I think, to Austin. If you guys see it, get a picture of it for me. Send it to the search. Send it to Sergio at rideshareguy.com.
Sergio, guess what I saw?
What'd you find?
I'm just saying Tesla.
Oh, okay.
It's a robotaxi. It was just a Model 3, and no one was in it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. If anybody can disrupt Uber, it'll be Tesla, though. I'm pretty sure. They already have
they have deep enough pockets, and they have a lot behind their brand already. But honestly, like I say, I don't think it comes around to a couple of different things. I mean, the biggest thing is, as I touched upon the points, pay drivers more and have passengers pay less. If you can do that by, let's say, 30%, you can try to change buying habits from passengers, and drivers will be grateful because you're making 30% more than what you would be on Uber and Lyft. The only thing is the adaption rate. As long as you can go in, get people to adapt, you'd have to have, market penetration. And the easiest would be word of mouth. So that would be drivers who get on the platform have to talk about it instead of thinking, I don't get any rides on it. Well, what are you doing about it? Are you telling your passengers about this particular app? I mean, if you had 100 drivers in your market talking about the app to 10 people a day, That's 1,000 people a day that you can get to download the app and start changing their driving habits, where you could potentially make 30% more driving, and a passenger could pay 30% less. But again, nobody wants to do anything because it's always for somebody else to do.
This is the future, bro. This is the future. We have to accept it, but I don't think it's going to be a threat for a long time to come.
I don't. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, I don't think Tesla and how much money they have, how much market capital they have, are able to tap into. I don't think that they are any different than a couple other ride-sharing apps that are, maybe on the cusp of coming, or have the thought, or maybe they're in, a couple small markets right now or something. If they're able to penetrate the market, if they're able to get money to be able to market into new markets, and pay for all the licensing and insurance and all that stuff, well, yeah, that's going to can be anybody.
Yeah, I think Tesla will scale quicker than Waymo, because their cars are just on camera and software base, as opposed to, and they already have millions of cars out there. But we'll see how it goes. So if you're interested in this kind of thing,
every time you drive a Tesla, you're helping them map the road.
Yeah, well, you have been doing that anyway. So
no, well, I mean, like, they're using your data and your sensors and everything to map the roads already. So if you drive a Tesla, that's exactly what's happening, and it's been happening since you own the car. So
for sure, yeah. And how many people also, like, if you own a brand new Tesla Y, let's say you bought the new Juniper, while you're at the office working, are you going to put that car out for a rideshare? Or while you're sleeping, are you going to put that car out for a rideshare for it to get puked in or something like that? I don't know how many private
you
owners.
can only imagine what's going to be on the inside waiting for you the next day.
How many private owners will do that? I'm not sure.
It's like a Jackson Pollock painting.
I don't know. Imagine that shit, bro. You just put out your car to make you $50 and it comes back full of shit. Like, literally.
I think there should be a stipulation in there that if that was the case, the person who did it, because they have the cabin view,
I'm sure
they would be able to know who it was. That they would be on the hook for the full amount to get it cleaned, to get it fixed, whatever it is. Not just like you could try getting $150 cleaning fee, but it costs you $300 to do it. Too bad, so sad.
No, that's vandalism, bro. If you shit in a car or piss in a car or whatever, that's vandalism. You just get arrested for that shit.
That's called a lawsuit, baby.
Yeah. Anyway, so
that's talk about the civil responsibility of somebody who harmed a rideshare driver or the victim's family. Right there is the same exact thing.
Yeah. That's true.
You can absolutely go after somebody for doing that.
Yeah, I wouldn't put my Tesla when I'm sleeping out to pasture
No, because I want to know what's going on in my car. I don't even like if my kids are eating in my car. I'm like, don't even
put the car out, and you're gonna lose sleep over it. Like, where's my car? That doesn't make sense.
Like, our cars are sacred places. Don't fuck with them.
I'll send it directly to Hollywood, West Hollywood, and it's 15 miles from here, and then get all the.
What are you talking about? Go to downtown LA. A couple of blocks where
25 miles away. Downtown 25 miles away. Oh, that you imagine that?
Skid Row, right down the tents.
Imagine a Tesla, self with FSD picking up where we were. Imagine that car is definitely gonna get skipped. Anyway, all right, so we're done.
All right. Well, we got a couple of comments, shout outs to our super chatters. So Paul, thank you. I'm experienced cherry picker. Awesome. So Uber now presents my fares in a confusing manner, such as 5-4.
Huh?
That's
confusing to me right there. I don't even know what that means.
5-4, and any confusing way possible. Yes, GigU has helped with the math, and I can make better choices through though anything under 5 green. No, that's confusing though too. But I'm going to say under $5 is not green. Right.
Okay, so it looks like they're showing him a range or something. I don't know.
I guess. I don't know.
Oh, that's what Uber can do to mess with GigU. They start showing a range.
Yeah, but that takes away from the upfront fare, because you're supposed to see the upfront fare so you can say if this ride is good or not. So now we're getting into some contract dispute territory. So, whew.
I don't know. Look what Steph says. Steph says Ventura is that way. The price range. Really? You don't have upfront fares? I thought you had upfront fares. Seriously, how could that be? Upfront fare is upfront fare, not a range. Huh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, send me a screenshot of that. Let me send that to somebody. Let's see.
Kubini Gaming says GigU is great, but for me has issues not tracking rides full time. Sometimes they show up minutes later, if at all. It's 25 plus phone. Well,
Okay, so you have a
first
new
off,
phone.
email Sergio and he'll be able to help you. But you know, one of the things with a brand new app, there's always going to be some sort of issues, especially with multiple phones, multiple multiple Android OS running. Not everybody has the exact same OS. There's a lot of different variations. So anytime you have any issues like that, just get hold of them so then they can.
Yeah. Send me that email, and I'll forward them until they have their human support together. I'll help them out for
I like this one.
weeks.
I'm a cherry popping daddy.
There you go, Rich. There you go, Rich. You gotta do it,
baby.
man.
Mic drop.
Do you know that our favorite Sunshine Man has moved, right? I told you that, right?
Yeah, he's not. He's the mountain man now.
I don't know, bro. He's gonna freeze his ass, and he's gonna make half the money he's making in Myrtle Beach, and he's gonna go Sergio. All right.
He's the mountain man now. He's not the sunshine man. He's the mountain man.
Snowman.
Todd says, "Get it now. Your personal insurance will cancel you if you are in an accident while driving for Uber and Lyft, and their insurance only covers you on the way to pick up with the packs." First of all, let's go over personal insurance will not cover you anytime you are online when it comes to Uber and Lyft. If you don't tell them, yes, you do run a risk of them dropping you from the insurance. If you do tell them, you may be paying more, but make sure that you get a gap coverage. And then the easiest thing to do is shop around all different companies and see what is offered. Get a rideshare rider insurance only because it's the best thing, because if you are online during the gaps and all that, it is going to help solve that problem. So it's just going to give you a little bit more when it comes to that. So that's definitely something you want to do.
Okay, I put that up. I don't understand that, but maybe you do. Being in Rhode Island.
In Rhode Island, I'm in and out of the state, and now I pushed you to go, and now I
don't know what that means.
Mark, why don't you re-say that? I'm assuming in Rhode Island, in and out of state, because Rhode Island is the smallest state in the union. So there's a lot of rides going
Mark,
in and out.
are you new? You must be new. Welcome to the channel. Do you pay for extra insurance on Uber? No, you don't pay. It's included. Although you do have $2,500 deductible. You don't pay extra. It's included in the rider fare, and it's automatically taken out. On period 2 and period 3. On period 1, where you have the app on driving around looking for a trip, you are not covered, sir. But you still have the $2,500 deductible.
Yep.
That's why you need
something
extra
that gap insurance can help too.
Yes, sir.
So it can work with the deductible or lower the deductibles.
Are we done?
Depending on the policy, of course.
Yeah.
That's not a guarantee. So don't take my word for it. Talk to
check your
insurance
way bill,
agents.
Mark. When you're doing a trip or after a trip, there is a thing called way bill. Click on that, and you'll know what your coverage is. You know what insurance company you're dealing with, or if you get in a crash or something, whatever. God forbid. Okay, here it is. We're going to give it another shot.
Steph says she emailed you.
I'm in and out of course she did. I'm in and out of the state, and they don't allow pickup. Yeah, well, some states do, some states don't. But when you do take a trip to another state, they'll allow you to go to another state, but they won't allow you to come back from the other state. That's probably true.
Yeah.
So don't take those trips, my man.
Rhode Island. Hopefully you have upfront fares so you can see the destination, and you can be like, oh, that's going into an area where I cannot pick up.
Yeah.
And then it also depends too on the app, because Uber and Lyft are different. Uber might allow you only in your state. Lyft might allow you in states that are around.
Very true.
So it just depends. Lyft is a lot more open when it comes to the amount of areas. There is a lot of overlap. Like Chuck, he's becoming a regular contributor here at RSG, and his video is going to be talking about this tomorrow. When he can work in the Pennsylvania market, Southern New Jersey, and also all of Delaware. So he can go in all of those states. So they kind of overlap. Some areas have upfront fares, some areas don't. So he's kind of going over that stuff. How can you get in contact? Email me.
Chris at therideshareguy.com. He's your man, because he's in Buffalo himself.
I think that's why CT put that. Yeah, email
There
me.
you go. Go have a drink with Chris. He's in your state, my man. Yeah.
What are you talking
Anyway,
about? We're like down the street.
yeah, you guys probably neighbors.
I mean, you got to remember, New York City and Buffalo is 5.5 hour difference drive.
Yes.
So
Well, well, anyway, that's nothing to do with the show. Okay, my man, are we done?
yeah.
Okay, are we going to
We'll
driver's
do our
corner or
driver's
no?
corner. Usually it's tougher with having people come on, with our
Okay, we'll
guests
do
to
it
come
next week?
on and then try to do driver's corner. So what we'll do is we'll have to kick it to next week unless there's somebody who's coming on. But
We don't have
yeah,
anybody next week, so we don't have
Okay.
anybody next week. So, okay, guys, this is the question for today's driver's corner. So be ready for next week. How do you deal with drunk passengers? Okay, I think it's important. If you want to make money, you got to drive drunk drivers mostly.
I'm waiting for the person to come on and says the way I deal with drunk drivers is I don't take them and then just get off the chat.
No, man. Yeah. So next week we'll do like a longer segment because I think it's important. How do you deal with drunk passengers?
Oh, here you go. Just going back with Mark's, Todd responds saying Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine drivers can do pickups in any of these states due to reciprocal agreements at the state level. So
See what I mean?
It could be. You definitely want to look a little bit more into it, just depending. But yeah, Rhode Island being such a small state, I wouldn't be surprised if they did have reciprocal.
Well, Mark
especially
says,
with like Connecticut.
okay, they're having a conversation now. Mark says if you have a Rhode Island account, I don't know, man. I maybe you have your account tagged somehow, or I don't know.
It's Julio. What happened to the pizza? It's morphing. It's going to encompass a lot more than just pizza. It's actually going to go to a lot more cars. So that's the next thing that's happening. I'm actually in the process of pre-production right now for car-related content. So if you guys like cars, you're going to have to head over to my channel because we're going to do some really cool shows on that channel.
And if you want to learn about finance, investing, retirement, trading, anything you guys want to learn about, go to my channel, Sergio Avedian at YouTube. Go subscribe. You will learn a lot. Trust me. Paying it forward. Teaching you guys free shit.
See, there he goes. He's got it. The way I deal with them, I don't drive those times.
No, I get that. But you know what? A lot of people do.
Those are the most profitable times.
Yeah.
And they're, for the most part, they're the most fun, especially when you get the lay of the land. So
tips
like once you get the lay
tips
of the land after a few weeks, few months of practicing and going in different areas at the different times, you definitely get to know where the fun spots are and also more busier.
You know who's loving drunk hours?
What's up?
You know who's loving drunk hours?
Who?
Our buddy up in Washington State.
Which one? We have a few.
Oh, we have
Zach
drives fast.
Oh,
he goes,
no!
I'm picking up these hot-looking college kids who are drunk out of their ass. I'm going like, keep your hands.
Oh my god, yeah. You know, Thursday. Do you know how many times I would get hit on? Oh, it's insane. Go watch my other channel. All that's still on there.
Shit. There we
some
go.
of them.
Uncle Love right here.
And like all these other things. I'm like, holy Jesus.
You're like the Elvis song, Hunka Love, right there, Chris. There you go. This is my fucking partner.
Like one actually flat out said, do you think I'm pretty? And she's like, hey, do you want to come over and hang out for a little while? And I'm like, no thanks. And then like it's happened quite a few times, but some are so blatantly obvious, and it's like goddamn.
1 star. 1 star for you, sir.
I had the one girl I had like four different times.
Oh my god!
As a rider,
she was probably, you know,
because I drive by Buffs or by UB.
Okay.
So during that time, so UB's got 2 campuses, University of Buffalo. One's in Amherst, one's in Buffalo. And if you go like Thursday is the night where colleges go out. So you can hit the bars that are around North Campus or South Campus. And a lot of the frat and sorority houses are by South Campus. So you get a lot of the people that are going there, I drive XL. So you're able to get a lot more people, a lot more rides going to and from bars that are around that area.
Well, what is drunk goggles? Drunk giggles or goggles? I don't
Goggles. Yep. No, she's got it. Goggles. Yeah. You get those drunk goggles, man.
know.
And all of a sudden, a 4 becomes a 10.
Okay. No, we want actually. It's a fun topic. We should talk about it and what you do about it and what your
There's a
precautionary.
great sign at this restaurant that I go to every once in a while, and it says drink till she's pretty, stop before the wedding.
That's funny, bro. I haven't heard that one before. Yeah.
I can't believe. Yeah. You've never had beer goggles?
Oh, beer goggles. Yeah, no, I got that. I got that part. All right, so we'll talk about that next week. We'll have you come on and we'll have a 15-20 minute session about actually maybe some cool stories about your
My wife would laugh at some at those videos.
Hey, man,
like,
our wives trust us. That's why. They're like,
she was my girlfriend only at the time, so it was like, okay, but I still show her and she'd be like, Jesus Christ.
she's like, look at Steph. I'm a solid 1.8, solid with 6 drunken gun. Like, Jesus Christ, Steph. We talked about the mental aspect of rideshare driving. See what I mean? See what it's doing to you? 1.8. Why would you rate yourself 1.8? Come on now.
I don't know, but yeah, if you guys are the biggest thing is if you guys are interested in that Gemini breakdown, especially if you're feeling certain problems, if you're feeling like you're stuck when it comes to driving, if you're kind of getting burnt out, if you're getting, if you're starting to see a little bit more weight around the midsection, maybe you had to go and get some new pants recently, a lot of those things, whatever it might be, let us know. We can definitely dedicate time to that, because honestly, I think that would be a great, great.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to put an article and in fact, what I'll do is I'll go ask Gemini. I'll put that excerpt in. What are some of the solutions for these things? And then it'll give me the solution.
Oh, dude, just ask me. I'll tell you all of them.
Okay.
Because pretty much all of those points has definitely happened to me at one point or another. And then it's like, right? How do you fix it or how do you solve it? Okay. So right. Yeah, all those things I've probably already gone through. That's why I say I could talk about that very easily when it comes to a particular show. So yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll do an article. I think it's good. Okay. So Uber, just to respond to that, number one. Number two, Sachin, please come on. We're going to be cordial, just like the other podcast. We'll ask you a little bit about your CTO, dog fooding that you do. We do appreciate you dog fooding, by the way. But I don't think you're going to learn much with 6 or 8 trips a month. I don't think so. But anyway, so all right, good show. Please go GigU a try. Look, it's a new app. Stop with the complaining. It's free for frick's sake for 30 days. In 30 days, I'm sure they're going to improve. Just try it out. And send me your earnings. Like, hey, before GigU, after GigU. It may help. You never know. They're saying it helps 30%. 30% is goddamn massive. If it helps 10% is massive. So give it a shot. Free app. Yeah. And they're not asking your credit card. They're not asking shit.
I love how people are saying, oh, well, hey, if you know simple math. Yeah, it's not about the simple math, though. It's about being safe. Like, you shouldn't have to focus on your phone if you are driving, as they were saying, 100%. If you have something that says green light, good. Yellow light, you got to look at it maybe a little more. Red light, you got to say no. And then it's also going to train. One of the other things, too, is since it takes off your particular costs, one, you're going to finally know what your costs are.
Yeah.
Yay! So that's a good thing. Yeah, you definitely know your costs at that point, and it's going to make it so you know what's going to be profitable for you, not just to cover the costs of your car, but also to make a profit on top of that.
Right here, folks. This is it in life. Forget about rideshare. Anything in life, relationships, work, rideshare, trading, whatever it is you have going in your life, family, you got to know your worth. And don't ever be shy about asking for your worth. There you go.
Yep. All right. With that being said, hope you guys had a good time. We'll see you guys next week on 160. Holy smoke.
160.
Oh. All right. We'll see you guys next week. Be safe.
Adios.